Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's CFP certified financial planner, president and founder of TJ Stearns Inc. He is Tim Stearns. Tim, welcome back in.
Hey, Pete, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. We appreciate the time and upcoming week ahead, Thanksgiving week, Tim. Lots of crazy stuff has happened this year, but still a lot to be thankful for, I think. What do you guys do at the Stearns household for Thanksgiving?
Well, we do a turkey, of course, and we just spend a lot of family time. And then I have 3 boys, so we're watching football quite a bit.
All right, wonderful. And I know one of your boys plays as well, correct?
That's correct. Ryan is still playing. Yep. And he's a heck of a little running back for John Hersey High School.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, looking forward to the food myself. And, I try to help out whenever I can with the instructions the wife gives me, whether it's for the meal prep itself or the decorating that ultimately goes on the rest of the weekend, Tim. I try to be as helpful as possible, but I feel like for me, it's more of a relaxing holiday. And my wife always tells me it's kind of a high stress holiday for her. So try to take that off her plate when and where I can.
Sure. Well, I'm allowed to go to the grocery store, so.
Congratulations. Good for you. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Well, as we've talked about on this program before, lists are important because I am told to go to the grocery store and I try to make it just one trip to the grocery store. And so I always have my wife make the very detailed list so that I can, as best I can, accomplish that. Usually it ends up being at least 2 trips.
And I know this. And it's busier than heck on the day of Thanksgiving. So, oh well.
Yep. Well, Tim, again, a lot has gone on this year, and I think people are more nervous and apprehensive than maybe ever before. Planning during a pandemic, I think, has had some added anxiety for us all. And I think that's being reflected in how people are not doing the planning that they should. But Tim, burying our heads in the sand and procrastinating, which ultimately does happen this time of year anyway, I think. Oh, it's the end of the year. It's the holidays. I've got too much on my plate. I'm going to take care of that next year. It's really more important than ever that we're proactive with our planning.
100%. One of the great articles that I have, and we're able to send these articles out to people if they give us a call, it was from the Post-Gazette in Pittsburgh. And it talked about how, planning during a pandemic, it's very stressful. But I'll back up for a second. I think planning anytime is for people, is very, very, very stressful. But after it's cathartic. You've got a plan now. And, we, one of my classes that, my retirement classes that we do at the universities around here, we talk to people, don't procrastinate. I mean, you're just making, you're not sleeping at night. I had a gentleman in the office the other day. He said, I literally am not sleeping at night because I'm worried about what if something happens to me, what will happen to my wife? Mm-hmm. And, those are the things you need to get ahead of. You'll feel better. It's no different than going to a doctor for a checkup.
The big questions. Do I have enough? Am I going to be okay? I think, Tim, that the anxiety is in the worrying and the thinking of those questions. The planning process is the cathartic part. And ladies and gentlemen, if you need some help, if you want some assistance, a certified financial planner is your resource here in Chicagoland. Tim Stearns is that planner on the radio each and every week and happy to help. Pick up the phone, give him a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And I think, Tim, some common sense steps in the planning process probably helps to relieve or alleviate some of that stress level as well. And there are things that we all probably should be doing in order to make that forward financial progress and tone down the stress level when it comes to our finances.
Well, one of the things I'll talk about is that if you do a plan, an income allocation plan, that you know where your bills are being paid, pandemic or not, you're paying your bills, and we've accounted for health insurance and Medicare and all that good stuff. We're certified for all that. But I mean, the common sense approach is that if I have a plan, why would I deviate from it? I don't need to, whether
Sure.
there's something bad going on or good,
Yeah. And
stay
so
the course.
having your retirement savings be kind of a line item in your budget, as well as kind of short-term financial goals and long-term financial goals, all really need to be laid out as part of that planning process.
100%. And that's why we make sure that when we sit down with somebody, most Americans don't have a plan. I seldom have someone come in here that has a plan, or it's not their spreadsheet that they came up with on or on the back of a napkin type of stuff. We are making sure that people have a plan that they can stick to. We've had clients who've had stuff come up. So here's the good news about our plans. They're dynamic. So if something happens where you have a higher expense for, let's say, a car that you didn't think you're going to have to replace, we're ready to go. We can do that. It's dynamic. Nothing in life is static.
No. And in fact, that's why the planning process is not a once and done, set it and forget it. And it's an ongoing evolution, because our needs, our situation is going to change. The conditions around us are going to change. And that's why Tim Stearns offers that complimentary review, whether you don't have that plan in place, or it's just been maybe a year or two, or you feel like there is evidence that you need a checkup. Certified financial planner Tim Stearns willing to donate his time if you are willing to invest yours. There's no cost, there's no obligation, it's free of charge. There's no downside for placing this call. There's no reason to meet in person. No need to do that. You can do it over the phone or Zoom meetings, virtual meetings. But it starts with the phone call, whether it's that in-depth review of your comprehensive situation or just a quick direct question over the phone. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, or online, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. And Tim, again, as we're kind of gathering around the holiday table in the week to come, maybe we can pass some of those common sense tips on to our relatives and loved ones. We need to think about healthcare. We need to budget. We need to understand what our living expenses and housing costs are. And unfortunately, too many of us, I think, forget that, especially in this time of year where it's easy to blow the budget.
Right. And that's why, again, a lot of these plans that that these people have, they're going to kind of wing it. I don't think retirement's something that should be just a winging it situation. So we make sure that we meet with people. I mean, I had a sibling who got downsized earlier this year before the pandemic hit, and we had to change some things. So a lot of these plans that I'm seeing are based on predictions. If I make 12%, or 12%, where are you going to do that consistently every year?
That's
These
why
plans,
planning beats predictions. I mean, you
all day,
always
all
talk
day.
about the income allocation is the component that's so often missing, but it is the
Right.
specific plan for knowing what that income is going to look like in retirement.
Right. And then obviously taking into effect that inflation's out there. We tell people all the time, your dollar needs to double every 22 years to stay up with inflation. Your dollar today is not going to be worth the same thing in 22 years. It needs to be double that. So again, back to the predictions. I mean, have you ever seen a stock market that consistently went up, let's say 8% every year? No, that does not happen. It goes up, it goes down, So trying to time the market and trying to do different things is not something that we do here. We make sure that we do an income allocation plan that will be solid during a pandemic. It'll be solid during anything that's going well, and anything in between that.
Yeah. And again, we need to have that plan in place. Planning beats the predictions, but even within people's plans, Tim, you've talked about it. A lot of plans are based on assumptions and hypothetical. And I hope we want an I know what my financial future looks like type of retirement plan. If you'd like to get that put in place, pick up the phone, give certified financial planner Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, it's not just the rate of return. A lot of plans are based on predictions and hypotheticals for how much income we can actually withdraw and take from our nest egg. Our retirement savings has to produce an income for us, a cash flow, and income allocation specifically addresses that side of the planning as well. So we can know how we're going to cover those expenses.
Right. And you know, what you see a lot is people are using that. Some people don't have a clue how much they're going to withdraw, or some people are using an archaic term called 4% withdrawal, which came about, it was vogue in the 1990s. You know, the guy who came up with it, Bill Bangin, out in California, a certified financial planner, doesn't use his own system because it fails 67% of the time. So if you're using the 4% rule out there, Chicagoland, it fails 67% of the time.
And that,
So
and Tim, that's why where we talk about how a lot of plans are still based on predictions. This is not a rule that's etched in stone. This was a theory, and it has proven to fail.
Right. And the thing about that is that you have people who are planning on doing that. You know, it's not going to work. You know, and the analogy we use with people is, if you're going to get on a plane and the pilot comes over and says, well, we're going to have a 67% chance that we won't make it to our destination, do you stay on that plane? And they laugh and they go, absolutely not. Well, people are doing that in retirement, you know, and you don't get do-overs. You know, you're 80 years old and you run out of money. Now what? You know, so that's something that we make sure that people are not using that archaic rule, that the gentleman who came up with it, that worked maybe in the 90s, doesn't use it.
Again, if you would like to get that plan for your situation put together, pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, you have made an offer. You've discussed a lot on this program, this resource that sort of explains the problems that today's retiree is facing and the potential solutions. It's the reference book for retirement planning, and this describes the structure of how to put the assets together. Income allocation is the name of the book, and you've made an offer for that book.
Right. Now I'll put it out there. First 10 callers that call in today, I will be happy to get that book into their hands. It's written by my really good friend, David Gaylor, a 30+ year retirement specialist. It talks about, you know, exactly how asset allocation fails. It failed in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2008. And what did it do this past March? Same thing. So if you're going to use a system that fails every 1 out of 4 years, I would tell you that's a bad idea. So since 2000, it has failed 5 times. We don't use that system. You know, 9 out of 10 of Americans use mutual funds. That's one thing that we're not real gung-ho on. Why? You know, if you have to be at a company and you're under 59.5, yeah, you have to use mutual funds. But if you can get into separately managed accounts that actually can go to cash, because mutual funds can't, and that's in the book, then I would tell you to give us a call, and we can help you with that.
Well, again, so many of the different aspects, the variables, the concerns will be answered and addressed in this book of how do I know if I've had enough? How do I know how much is enough? Will I run out of money, or will I be okay? Are all going to be determined by the way that you structure that plan, ladies and gentlemen, and how you do that is described in the book, Income Allocation. These are the solutions for today's biggest retirement challenges. Pick up the phone, give a call, request your copy right now. Tim Stearns making 10 copies of that book available for today's listeners on the program. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Now, a little bit of good news, Tim, is that Social Security recipients are receiving a raise next year. That is a positive. 1.3% COLA.
Yes, in 1.3%, but that really isn't that great. One of the things that I've you know, that we teach in our classes is a lot of people don't understand how they get to the raises that they'll give us in Social Security. So they say that they use a consumer price index, but what they do is they strip out the cost of like fuel, cost of clothing, the cost of food, and that's how they arrive at it. So I don't know about you, but with 3 boys, my food bill goes up month after month. I mean, consistently for the last 20 years. Jake is 20. So my point is that it goes up more than 1.3% per year. And, you know, if I stripped out all those things in the CPI, Consumer Price Index, you know, I could probably afford the 1.3. So, you know, not really a true number. And I don't think that that's that big of a help for most Americans. You know, when Social Security came out, it was supposed to be 40% of people's income. And there's a lot of people that are living off of that. And 1.3% is just tough. It's too bad it can't be more.
Yeah, well, I think, Tim, it was designed basically to keep us just above poverty level. So if Social Security alone is our only source of income, probably
Right.
not the retirement that most of us envision or dream about. But more good news, Tim, is that more and more American households are actually utilizing some of the wisdom described in the book Income Allocation and guaranteeing their own personal streams of income.
Right. In fact, there was a study done in 2018, whereas about 37% of households have pensions or annuities, and now it's up to 40%. And I will tell you, there's been a lot of studies done that people who have a guaranteed income coming in, whether it be in the form of a pension or an annuity, have better, happier retirements.
Well,
That's
and
a
Tim, I
fact.
have to guess that the increase in that number is probably not due to more people having pensions from their employer. This is us personally taking on that responsibility with the knowledge that we need some amount of guaranteed income in retirement.
Well, it's interesting you say that because 10 years ago, there was 250 companies with pensions, and now we're down to about 50. So I'm going to have to agree with you that more and more people are buying annuities. You know, some people can't get past the name annuity. I think that they should read the book and then decide at that point what they're really thinking. Become educated, because not all sizes fits all. I get that. But, you know, become educated that you know what the difference is between a variable annuity, a fixed index annuity, or a fixed annuity. We can help people do that. Our book details everything there. And it really puts it down in layman's terms so that you can understand exactly how to retire properly.
Well, the Alliance for Lifetime Income is a nonprofit third-party institution that researches some of the biggest challenges that we've got in retirement and is promoting the health of retirement with lifetime income and the annuity. Part of that, again, the book Income Allocation describes the problems with asset allocation and the traditional financial models, and describes the solutions that having more guarantees for lifetime income can present. And going back, again, if Tim, that 4% rule has been the model, income allocation actually allows us in many cases to do more with less. We can actually generate more income with less of an asset base or less of a lump sum in many cases.
Right. We can do more than an asset allocation. What is asset allocation? It's what people have been doing for 100 years. Came out in 1952 that, you know, Dr. Markowitz out of University of Chicago, that, you know, this is the way you should do it. Stocks and bonds, that's it. But unfortunately, what we've learned in the last 20 years, the stocks and bonds are tied together. So they all are correlating. So you have to find some uncorrelating assets to put in there, an annuity, other vehicles that don't go down when the market goes down. Because in March this year, both stocks and bonds took a hit. There's nowhere to hide. 2008, same story. So why not try something different where you don't lose every time the market goes down?
Tim, examples of why we need to take steps to protect our income. When those down periods occur in the market, we don't want those to affect our lifestyle and financial confidence. We don't want to have down periods in our ability to spend and cover the bills.
Right, right. And again, to the pandemic part here, you know, if there is a pandemic, you're still able to pay your bills because we have income allocated for it. You don't have to pull from the growth fund or funds that you have with us. You can actually just use the income that we have coming in. So, you know, because the people aren't going out a lot. You know, we've been on lockdown here for off and on for the last 6 months. This allows people to, if they're staying at home, they don't really have a need to go into that growth bucket, especially if the market takes a hit.
Well, again, if you would like a copy of that book, Income Allocation, it is the reference being used across the country by advisors, by savers, by investors who are looking to understand how to deal with today's difficult economic challenges into and throughout retirement for more predictability, durability, for more structure and security. Pick up the phone, give a call, request a copy. Tim Stearns making 10 available on today's program, the first 10 callers. And if you'd like to extend that with the review and the individual strategy session, he'll welcome you to take part in that as well. No cost, no obligation. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, as we formulate that income plan for retirement, there's a recent Forbes article that enumerates several expenses that we cannot overlook, a couple dealing with healthcare, a couple dealing with taxes. These are sort of the big ones in retirement.
Yeah. And number 2 on that list, and Forbes, by the way, a great resource for people who are either retired or getting ready to retire. But number 2 on that list was long-term care. 7 out of 10 Americans are going to need it. 9 out of 10 of us have that. So wouldn't you want to take care of something like that? We don't do just a long-term care standalone. There's new products out there that are hybrids where they have a death benefit, they have cash value. You get something back from it. Obviously, long-term care being one of those, God forbid that you need it. But that being said, again, 9 out of 10 of Americans are going to need it. 9 out of 10 Americans do not have it. 7 out of 10 are going to need it. And that's, those odds are pretty bad that you're going to, you or your wife will probably need long-term care. So wouldn't you want to insure for that?
Absolutely.
The other thing, like you said, people aren't planning for taxes. Well, I'll be in a lower tax bracket. Well, who knows what tax bracket you'll be in. When we do a budget for people, we make sure we understand exactly where what they will be paying for taxes, according to current tax laws. We'll see what happens going forward.
Again, if you would like help and assistance in planning out your retirement and looking forward in identifying these expenses, whether known or probable, and then formulating the plan for how to deal with them when or if they are incurred. And there are many protections that we've got to put in place just in case things happen. That's part of the planning process. Tim Stearns can help you with that. He is a certified financial planner, willing to make his time available to you with no cost and no obligation. Just pick up the phone and give a call from this radio program, and you can request that complimentary review and evaluation. Or even if you've got a question, an issue that's been on your mind about your money, get a direct answer to that in 5 to 10 minutes. Give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Another poignant point on the Forbes list, Tim, that I thought sitting around the holiday table, we might be able to at least think about and consider in the back of our mind. Number 6, caring for family members. Who in our family might be caring for us, who might we have to provide that care for. Maybe not the hottest topic of discussion, but definitely something to be thinking about as you are gathering with your family.
True. What we're seeing a lot of is the sandwich generation is what we call them, or tweeners. And basically they're taking care of a mom or a dad that are still around because people are living longer and longer, but they're also helping out with their grandkids. I've had family members who've literally quit their job to take care of mom and dad, or to help with the grandkids, or both. And, they're not bringing in money anymore. So I've seen that happen, and that's something we can plan for too. Again, all these income allocation plans are dynamic. And at the end of the day, life is very dynamic. We've seen that in the last 6 months, like ad nauseum, right? So we make sure that we plan for life's events that keep happening to people, which is, hey, I got to quit my job because I got to take care of my mom or my dad, or both. Or I have to take care of, some of my grandkids because, my kids now are working full time.
Yep. And during the pandemic, I saw several families that had to have one or the other of the working parents quit working just to take care of the kids. That's, potentially a temporary type of situation, but potentially, as we look at this question, Tim, something that is more extended and long-term. And another issue is that longevity. I know this is as you've talked about, the risk multiplier. Truly the number one risk to a stable, secure retirement is the amount of time that we spend in it. And we want a long, happy, healthy lifetime, but long and well-funded are kind of two ends of the spectrum there, Tim. And that's why, again, income allocation is so important, and why another recent article from Forbes stated that possibly the best thing that you can do for your financial future is map out a plan with a certified financial planning professional. CFP Tim Stearns is here, ladies and gentlemen. He is your resource, and he's got lots of tools available to you. Number one being the individual time and attention to review your plan. Pick up the phone, give a call if you'd like to request that opportunity. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. You can hop online. You can go to tjstearns.com. Videos there explaining income allocation, why it's important, and he does make the book available. Income allocation is the reference being used across the country by savers, planners, advisors, those taking their planning and their financial future seriously. And he's made 10 copies available. To get your copy, just pick up the phone and give a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, you're on the radio each week, and I really appreciate the time, obviously. But what I've come to know is that you are a person, you're genuine, and you just like helping people and answering their questions.
Thanks, Peter. It's been a really great ride doing the show with you, and I'm thankful to everybody who tunes in, and we'd love to help some people out there in America.
Well, he is standing by. He is your resource, ladies and gentlemen. Pick up the phone, give a call. CFP, Certified Financial Planner, Tim Stearns, standing by, here to help you address your planning concerns. Get that plan in place to give you a little bit more security and confidence. 800-640-2256, the number to call. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Call now, request that book, be one of the first 10, and get a copy of Income Allocation in your hands. 800-640-2256. Once again, we appreciate the time, Tim, and happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody at the Stearns household.
Same to you, Peter. Take care, guys.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.